Hey everyone, I'm here with my friend Peter, and I'm going to teach him how to set up for a basic relaxation pose or Shavasana. So I just have Peter here lying on his back without any support. And one of the things I want you to notice is the position of his head. And oftentimes when we have folks lie supine in Shavasana in our yoga class, or if you have a home practice of restorative yoga, due to sitting for long periods of time, and also just the natural curves of the spine, in particular the thoracic spine, which is the mid-back between the shoulder blades. Usually when folks are reclined back, there'll be a compensatory pattern to a greater or lesser degree. And if you notice here, in relationship to his chin to his forehead, his chin is just a bit higher. So what we want to do, number one, in setting up for Shavasana, is support the neck and the head so the forehead is slightly higher than the chin. And what this will do is it'll put the cervical spine, the neck, in a mild degree of flexion. That's the position when you kind of bow your chin to your heart, sort of the meditative gesture of prayer. So what you're going to take is one of your blankets from a standard fold, and from a previous position you'll see the blanket slightly uneven on one of the edges. I'm holding from the short edge. And I'm going to fold it about 3/4 of the way. And Peter's an awesome example because he has fairly defined shoulders. You can see, may I touch you? You can see right here the back of his shoulders aren't on the floor. And what a lot of folks will do is they'll make this adjustment, and Peter, try this, pull your shoulder blades more onto your back. And they'll do this in an effort to get the shoulder blades flat against the ground. But then what happens as he brings his shoulder blades back, do it one more time, is then he's arching his back. He's placing his spine in extension. And extension, when the joints are in extension, especially the vertebral column, it's not as relaxing as when we can allow the body to be more in towards flexion. So I'm going to take a blanket. And Peter, take your hands under your head and lift your head to support your neck. And you can see here, I'm going to place part of the blanket here, and another part right here at the bottom of his spine, and then come back down for me. I can take the sides of the blanket and tuck it in just slightly. So I'm cradling his head. I'm supporting his neck and head from below the neck so the back of the arms are supported. Go ahead and separate your arms just a little bit. We also want to position the arms so the armpits can breathe, the sides of the ribs can breathe. So that would be number one. Now you can see his head is just forehead slightly higher than his chin, just about level 2, maybe a little higher. The second part we want to support would be the knees to release the hips and the pull of the low back. So I want you just to notice the quality of the front of his hip here and the quality of his abdomen and how that changes when we support it with a bolster. So I have a yoga block and a rectangular hugger-mugger bolster. Can we say our words today? Maybe we should edit this video. No, we're just going to keep it a hugger-mugger bolster. He's going to bend his knees for us. Bring your knees to your chest. And because this is a rectangle, I'm going to take the bolster and place it so I'm making a bit of a ramp. And you can kind of place the block this way, which is more traditional, but if you find it bumps into the back of the thighs, you could also switch it the other way. So we're going to try it this way first. And then take your knees a little wider apart. How does that feel? Good. And so then what we've done is we've placed the knee in flexion. That's when the knee is slightly bent. We've put the front of the hip more in flexion, which allows the head of the femur to drop into the deeper part of the hip socket. And then that also releases any sort of line of pull on the muscles in the front of the hip, and also on a muscle called the psoas, which attaches to the front of the lumbar spine. This allows his low belly to release, and a soft low belly also allows for the excursion of the diaphragm. The last part we might want to support is if you find the back of the heels are particularly tender, you can take a blanket, roll it up, and then support the back of the Achilles tendon. So just lift your feet up. So these would be the three main points of support in Shavasana. Head, back of the knees, those are the two most important. And then lastly, the back of the heels. I hope you found this informative. And we're going to let Peter rest here for a few moments.